So start early,
Yes.
monitor,
Yes.
track your data,
Yes.
and verify.
Yes. And admit that some of those initial assumptions may need to be tweaked as you go through the process.
Hey everyone, it's Bob Crossan. I'm the editorial director for the Endeavor Business Media Water Group. I'm here with Anastasia Rudenko. She is Associate Project Manager for GHD. Thanks so much for taking some time with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so could you talk a little bit about coastal and non-coastal wastewater effluent discharge? Could you kind of compare and contrast those a little bit?
Sure. The presentation that I'm giving here at WEFTEC focuses specifically on the coastal environment of Cape Cod. Okay. One of the unique challenges that we have in the Cape is the interconnectedness of our water systems. We take our drinking water from the ground and we're looking to put treated effluent back into the ground. So how do you create a sustainable system with those two dynamics?
Mm-hmm. So are there other challenges that people run into when it comes to coastal communities and effluent discharge and things like that too?
There's a couple of unique challenges. One, it's very integral. We see a lot of the impacts of climate change. So we're not looking for today's conditions, we're looking into the future. What are the infrastructure with a 100-year lifespan? What are the conditions going to look like by the end of that design life, and how are we accommodating them?
Yeah. So how can communities try to overcome those challenges, whether it is climate change or that interconnectedness that you were speaking of? What are some of those tools, and how do they overcome those challenges?
So there's a lot of research being done now looking at future projections. And integrating that into the baseline planning. And then one other critical component is having an adaptive management plan. So we don't have a crystal ball, we can only project so far, but coming up with a program that can be adapted as you see how the future unfolds and how your infrastructure is reacting to it is critical.
Yeah. So what if someone were interested in taking a step toward an adaptive plan like that, what's kind of like the first step that they would want to go through, or how would they start that process?
So one way we do it on the Cape is going through a watershed management plan. So we look at a planning period and then we set milestones and we set targets for those milestones. When we're planning in a coastal environment, it's a living system. So you need to have a very robust monitoring plan so that you can look back and see how that system is reacting. Are the assumptions that you use to get to that point valid, or do you need to adjust your program going forward? And building that flexibility in from the planning phase is critical and the most cost-effective way to implement that plan.
Yeah, so start early, monitor, track your data, and verify.
Yes. And admit that some of those initial assumptions may need to be tweaked as you go through the process.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Anastasia. I appreciate you taking the time. For everyone who's watching, check out our video description below. You can find some more WEFTEC videos down there and learn more about effluent discharge.